Assalamualaikum.
Hai, Dr. Ainul. Waalaikumsalam. Apa khabar? How are you?
Dr. Rafida.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you? Selamat Hari Raya.
Mai Raya, sekejap saya betulkan mai.
No problem. Take your time. We are still waiting for the students to join in. Okay.
Okay, boleh tak I share with you a bit
Yes.
the set of slides just in case anything wrong
Sure.
kan?
Sure.
Because pagi tadi I had a 2-hour online meeting juga. So now another 2 hours kan.
Okay.
Takut the laptop ni
You want to email or text me ke?
I can text you, boleh?
Okay, sure. Through WhatsApp, eh? Okay.
Just in case je lah.
Okay, okay, sure.
Actually, this is a class that actually starts at 2:30 lah ya?
Yep, actually they have classes at different hours.
Okay.
But we what?
Put them together lah.
Yeah, we pick the slot and put them all together same time. This is the only time that all classes are free.
I see. Friday.
All the ELC550 classes are free. So we ask the students to, we book this slot lah for the session.
Okay.
Actually, we have this kind of see teaching every semester.
Every
semester. It's like we invite lecturers from other campuses or from other universities to be the speaker. So this time around, because last semester we did the same thing, but we invited internal speakers from UiTM. So this time around we want to have a guest speaker from outside.
Other than UiTM.
Yes. So not a different apa kita kata, nak bagi rasa different kind of
different vibe they say nowadays. Vibe sangat.
Okay, see, we can see the IUM at the back. See? Yes. Asyik tengok background UiTM je kan?
Yelah, sekali-sekali kan?
Okay, so we are still waiting for the students. Just text me the slides. Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
I will project from my screen lah.
In case.
Because I think the slot given to me like 2 hours, so quite a number of slides that I would like to share.
No problem.
And then
no problem if you finish early, let's say after 1.5 hours you have finished everything, you have covered everything, then it's okay. Not necessarily 2 hours, but the maximum of 2 hours lah.
Yes, correct. I actually have also another event going on at 4. So I'm actually here. I don't know if you know the IIUM KL campus is tagged in KL. In KL. So I'm here.
Oh, you're in KL now. Okay.
Because I've been invited to an event here at 4 o'clock. So I said, tak apa, I'll carry on with my online teaching first, and then as soon as I'm done, I'll just join them then. Because otherwise I'll be traveling back and forth Gombak. This is just by Jalan Duta.
Okay, alright.
You know what it's like on a Friday afternoon.
So this is like a city campus, right?
Yes, the city campus.
Okay.
City campus.
Alright. Where are the students? Okay, hold on.
They don't normally have classes on Friday, do they?
A Friday afternoon, no. Usually they don't have, except if they have tests, then the lecturer will book the slot for their tests or, like seminar, things like that.
I think this is still a good alternative just for them to go online rather than we coerce them to come to campus in person.
Yes.
So we hope they can take the opportunity to be here lah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you don't have class afternoon, Friday afternoon, yeah?
Yeah, normally on Fridays we allocate Fridays for meeting.
Okay, all right. Okay. Students from my class, are you all here? See, nobody responded.
Dr. Rafida, I'm just curious. Do we have any international students among among them? No. Okay.
No. They are all Burmese. Yeah, Malays or those from Sabah and Sarawak, right?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just try to get to know my audience.
In UIA, you have international students, right?
Yeah, we have international students.
Must be very challenging or exciting.
Challenging and interesting at the same time, I have to say.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. All right. So 1 minute. Okay, left.
Okay, can we start with?
Yeah, okay. It's 2:30 already. All right, shall we? Dr. Ainul, are you ready?
Dr. Ainul, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Go ahead.
So I hand over to PM Zainon. Okay? All right. Over to you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so today we are fortunate enough to have with us Dr. Ainul Azmin. So today she will be sharing some important information and tips on writing a good term paper, which is actually part of the assessment this semester. So you better pay attention to the tips that she's going to give, because you are going to write a term paper for us to assess you. So before we listen to Dr. Ainul, okay, let me just introduce her, okay, briefly. Okay, so Dr. Ainul Azmin Muhammad Zamin is an assistant professor at the Department of English Language and Literature, International Islamic University, Malaysia. So in her 30 years of teaching experience, she has delivered talks and conducted trainings for both the public and private sectors. Okay? Her research interests lie in the areas of language pedagogy and English for specific purposes. So she is currently the head of research for Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman Kuliah of Islamic Revealed Knowledge and Human Sciences, IIUM. So without further ado, I now present to you Dr. Ainul Azmin. I pass it to you, Dr. Ainul.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Zainon, Dr. Rafida, my good friend, Dr. Rafida Kamaruddin. I believe there are also other instructors, other lecturers for I believe this is an English for academic writing course, yeah, for our students in UiTM. Yeah, it is indeed an honor, such a privilege to be invited to share a bit of what I do here over in IIUM. Yeah, I believe academic writing is an important aspect to any undergraduate. Yeah, you should have a good grasp of your academic writing, because like what Dr. Zainon mentioned just now, it's not just for your assignment, yeah, for your submission, but in all the other courses, you are basically doing academic writing. Yeah, it won't be very different from what we do over here in IIUM as well. Yeah, I have been working on academic writing, I think, all my life, all my academic life as a lecturer here. Even my PhD was focusing on academic writing. So this is a topic that is very close to my heart. Yeah, inshallah, I will try as much as possible to share whatever knowledge, a little bit of the experience that I've had so far. Okay, so let me share my screen with everyone here. Okay. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Boleh
Dr. Ainul, we can see.
Okay, boleh nampak ya? Alright. Let me try to put it on, shall we put it on presentation mode? Okay, alright. So this was the title given to me, tips on writing a good term paper. Yeah, I like the adjective good, alright, because we're not just sending any term paper. Yeah, your professors and your lecturers for ELC550, they are expecting a good term paper. Yeah, so to all the students joining us today, take note of the word good. All right, they are expecting you to send a good paper. Yeah, so this is when we say term paper. Yeah, it is in fact an academic paper, not just any essay that you're writing. It's not a story that you are writing. Yeah, but a paper that is academically written. All right, and because of that, we always want to improve ourselves. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm very sure your lecturers are doing a very good job in their classes, but sometimes you want the extra tips. Yeah, like just now Dr. Rafida mentioned, in the past you've had your lecturers from other branches of UITM to share their knowledge as well. Yeah, so again, like what I said, it's really a privilege to be here. Yeah, among UITM lecturers and students. All right, so let me start off a bit. Okay, just now Dr. Zainun has given you a little bit of my introduction. So we're going to start off a bit with the basic structure of academic writing. Okay, and then I will move on to some of the techniques important for citation. All right, because in any academic writing, the citation technique is an integral part of it. Yeah, you must know how to cite, you must know how to support your points and you know, your ideas properly according to APA perhaps. Yeah, there's a certain format that we must follow and so on. All right, and if we have time, inshallah, yeah, we'll try to have a Q&A at the end of our talk today. Okay, so let's have a look at what it means by academic writing. Okay, some basic structure, yeah, to academic writing. Prior to this talk, I have had my, you know, small discussions with Dr. Rafida. So I was trying to find out, you know, what you guys do for your term paper. So I think it's the normal structure where we have the introduction at the beginning and the conclusion at the end. Yeah, because we do it for the whole semester. Yeah, because we do it for the whole semester. So what you are going to produce is not a piece of essay. Yeah, it's going to be a term paper. All right, and when we say term paper, it requires revision. Yeah, it requires drafts. Yeah, and you will need to work on your writing as a process. All right, so you cannot expect, this is something I always tell my students, you cannot expect that the first time round that when you write, yeah, your term paper, it will be the same draft that you're going to send to your professors. If you're going to do that, that is going to be very, very risky. Yeah, term papers need to be revised from time to time. Yeah, you need to have first draft, second draft. Yeah, inshallah, at the end, you will submit your final draft. Yeah, so your final draft should be something that has been corrected, amended. Yeah, you have received feedback from your lecturers as well. Okay, so this is the basic structure that I'm sharing with you. We need to have the introductory paragraph. Yeah, and at the end, you have the concluding paragraph, or what we call the conclusion. Right? So in between introduction and conclusion, we will have the body paragraphs. Yeah, so how many body paragraphs you want to have for your term paper, that will depend on the instruction that you get from your instructors. Yeah, sometimes it can be just the basic 3 body paragraphs. Sometimes it can go up to 5. Yeah, and you need to follow closely, you know, the instruction given to you at the beginning of the semester. Okay, so just to give an overview, yeah, the introductory paragraph, right? It starts with a broad statement, which appeals to many readers. Yeah, to in your case, if you are handing it to your lecturers, who in the end will become the assessor or the person giving you the marks. So you have to make sure that your broad statement at the beginning is something appealing to her. Yeah, when readers read the first sentence of your introduction, it should be enticing enough. It should be inviting enough for her or for him to keep on reading. Yeah, you don't want to to kill that person's interest at the beginning of your introduction. All right, so it's very important to make sure that the first sentence of your introduction is welcoming the readers to go on, to continue reading the work that you have written. All right, so it should be appealing. Each sentence should narrow the focus of the paper until you are ready to include your thesis statement. Okay, so now I'm slowly introducing. I'm sure you have heard of the word thesis statement. So before you end your introduction with the thesis statement, you find a focus to the paper that you are writing. I think this is the beauty of doing English. You can talk about almost any topic. All right, and I always find that it's always a challenge also for the instructors to keep ourselves abreast with what's happening around the world. What's the talk of the town today, for example, right? So when we want our students to also write about it, we have to have some knowledge about the issue at hand. So before you write the last sentence as the thesis statement, you will have 1 or 2, sometimes even 3 sentences as part of your introduction. Okay, so the thesis statement normally is written as the last sentence of the introductory paragraph, right? This is where you will state your stand. This is where you will state your opinion, and as much as possible, you also include the points that you're going to use to support your stand. Normally it's written as the last sentence in the introduction, all right, because it's easy for your examiners to search for the thesis statement. It's not to say that you have to write it as the last sentence. There's no hard and fast rule about it. But this is the advice we always give our students, because we want the examiners to easily locate where your thesis statement is. Okay, so that's the introductory paragraph. All right, and then you have the body paragraphs. It can be 3, it can be 5, like I mentioned just now. And in the end, you will have one last paragraph, which is called the conclusion. Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to the paragraph itself. All right, so just now we have a thesis statement, in the introduction, and then after that, it will be followed by several paragraphs, consisting of the topic sentence. There are 4 main elements in a paragraph. You have the topic sentence. Okay, it begins with the topic sentence, and then in the middle you will have what we call the development, a little bit of explanation maybe, what the main idea or the central idea of your body paragraph. You explain that a bit, you elaborate a bit. Okay, and then the third part, maybe examples are given. You give instances. When you use a terminology, for example, you want to include illustrations, to further clarify. Okay, and then the last part of the body paragraph, you may have what we call the concluding sentence. It can be a summary of the overall main point that you have discussed. In the whole paragraph. Okay, so these are the 4 key parts of a paragraph. All right, and here we are actually focusing on the body paragraph. Okay, so just to put things into perspective, right? This is a simple 5-paragraph essay outline. This is an essay, all right, not yet a term paper. So to write a term paper, okay, you need to actually graduate from this school. You need to have this strong grasp of understanding of how the essay should look like first. Then only you can apply it to a term paper. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, in the introduction, you must have your thesis statement. Okay, followed by the body paragraphs. The body paragraphs, you have the topic sentence at the beginning. and then you have your supporting details. Yeah, your supporting details can be, several reasons. Yeah, several support. It can be reason A, B, or C. Yeah, the same thing with the next body paragraph. You have your topic sentence at the beginning, and then you have reason A, reason B, and reason C. Okay, and then the next body paragraph, the same structure, topic sentence, reason A, reason B, reason C. Yeah, and then in the conclusion, you will state again your thesis statement, which is exactly the same idea that you have introduced in your introduction, but perhaps now you rephrase it a bit. Yeah, it's not wrong to write the same thesis statement that you have written in your introduction. Yeah, but if you can paraphrase or write it in a slightly different manner using maybe a different sentence structure, that will give a good reflection of you as a writer. Yeah, examiners may see that, oh, okay, this student is able to paraphrase, yeah, or to change the sentence structure maybe, right, from the original thesis statement. Yeah, so you can get kind of a lot of marks for that, right? Because paraphrasing is also an important skill in writing. Yeah, not everyone can do or can paraphrase grammatically correct, yeah, all the time. So this is something that you also need to develop. All right, a lot of practice is required. Yeah, from time to time, you just learn how to change sentence structures. All right, okay. So basically, that is the 5-paragraph essay outline. Yeah, I think at the most fundamental level, your academic writing teachers or lecturers should have already introduced this to you. Yeah, I think for students who are already in your second year, yeah, I think I was informed that all of you are second year students, right? I believe this basic structure would have been introduced to you even at your matriculation, yeah, or your pre-degree level, all right? Okay, so let's have a look at some examples of topics, okay? Because I think, as mentioned by Dr. Rafida, in the term paper, the students are writing topics that are argumentative in nature, yeah, topics that would have two sides to the coin. Yeah, we want our students, after all, undergraduates, you are supposed to be critical thinkers already. Yeah, we want you to think about topics that may have, pros and cons, for example. Yeah, topics that have positive and negative sides to it. All right, positive topics that have advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, now students, I think there are quite a number of you here already. Yeah, 79. Okay, not bad. All right, just to share with our students here, sometimes your instructors, yeah, your examiners, they have to crack their heads just to come up with a good topic, yeah, to get our students thinking. Yeah, and in your case, become critical thinkers. All right, and then after you have finished the term paper, we also must come up with a good rubric, right, Dr. Rafida, to make sure both sides of the story, yeah, whatever the stand that the student is taking, we can award them equally good marks, right? Again, it all depends on how well you present your ideas, yeah, how well you support your point of view as well. Okay, let's have a look at a few topics here. Yeah. Okay, this is the first one. Eating disorders among youngsters is becoming a serious social problem. Many factors are contributing to this issue, but peer pressure is said to be the strongest reason. So the question is, right, the issue is, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reasons for your answer. Okay, if we look at this topic, all right, like I said just now, yeah, your instructors need to find topics that are relevant, contemporary, yeah. People of your generation, yeah, students, this is something that is probably not strange to you, yeah, having issues pertaining to peer pressure, yeah. So the issue here is eating disorder. So we we are, we are assuming you understand, right? Collocations or terminologies like eating disorders. Yeah, you would know what eating disorders means. Yeah, you understand also what peer pressure means. Yeah, so we hope, right, at this level, second year students, you would have enough, knowledge, enough information to be able to discuss topics like this. All right. Now, the beauty of doing a term paper, you have the whole semester to complete it. Yeah, you have the whole semester to complete it. All right. So you must do your own reading. Yeah, do not just limit yourself to, the sweeping statements that you have heard from your friends. Oh, I think peer pressure is like this quote. I heard about it last week when they were talking, about peer pressure. That's not enough. You have to do your own reading. Yeah, look at the definition. Yeah, look at articles. All right, what are the authorities are saying about peer pressure? Yeah, what is the scenario like in Malaysia, for example? What is happening in other countries when we talk about peer pressure? Yeah, so you have to be able to have some knowledge about it, because it will be reflected in your term paper. Yeah, and I believe your instructors are expecting you to do that as well. Okay, so if you look at this title, it is asking you to have a stand. Yeah, do you agree or disagree? All right, again, like I said, there's always an issue to it. Yeah, two sides to the story. Okay, so this is about eating disorder and also about peer pressure. Okay, another topic. Let's have a look at another topic. Animal testing is carried out in many areas of experiment, especially in science. Yeah, especially science. Okay, some quarters feel it is important for medicine, while others feel that we should stop harming these creatures. So we should stop, abusing the animals. What is your opinion on this issue? Right? Provide details for your opinion. Okay, so just now we were asked, right? You are asked whether you agree or disagree. Now, the statement or the question is asking for your opinion. Basically, it's the same, all right? But it is just being worded differently in terms of the instruction, okay? Now, if we look at the topic, animal testing, okay? It looks very scientific, yeah? But, although we come from a non-science background, we should have some knowledge about what it means by animal testing. Yeah, what does it mean by animal testing? I think your generation, students, for your generation, everything is at your fingertips. Yeah, you don't even need a laptop, all right, to go online. Your smartphone can help you do that. All right, if you're not sure, you just Google what it means by animal testing. Okay, now it says here, some quarters feel it is important for medicine. Now, why just medicine? All right, is it not important for other discipline, for example? So you have to do your homework. Yeah, find out as much as possible before you give your opinion, before you have a stand. Yeah, so when you start writing your term paper, you would have all the 3 main points, for example, right, to support your opinion. Okay, another one. In the modern era, parents face a lot of challenges in bringing up their children. Although parents have separate roles, mothers are said to be better parent for a child. Okay, this is very, biased in some sense, can, yeah? So do you agree or disagree with this statement? It provides support for your opinion. What is this instruction saying? Or what is this question saying? You need to decide, or you need to have an opinion whether the mother or is it the father who makes a better parent. Yeah, if you say your mom, yeah, if you say the mother is a better parent or makes a better parent, why? Yeah, if you say the father makes a better parent, then why? Yeah, so at least 3 reasons that you must have. All right, so before you start writing, think of the 3 support that you're going to include in your term paper and gather the information of how you're going to explain each point. Yeah, what are your evidences? What are the examples that you want to include? All right, is there any report on it? Yeah, Are there any articles written on it? All right. Okay, so agree or disagree. Yeah. All right, another one, last one, perhaps, yeah, before we get into the details. Tourism. Okay, tourism is becoming increasingly important for many countries, but its disadvantages cannot be overlooked. Okay, so to what extent do you agree or disagree that tourism has more disadvantages to a country? Okay, so, you know, tourism, everyone knows what tourism means, but maybe in your term paper, you want to, you know, look into special areas in tourism. Like in Malaysia nowadays, people are talking about medical tourism. Yeah, what does it mean by medical tourism? Anybody can talk about tourism, I'm sure. But if you go into one specific area in tourism, yeah, for example, medical tourism that I mentioned just now, what does it mean? Yeah, and how can we attract tourists from other countries to come to Malaysia just to seek treatment? Yeah, because they have a certain disease, for example. Yeah, which states in Malaysia are, you know, really promoting medical tourism? Right, you have to know all this. Yeah, and I believe if your examiners are reading, you know, good information, interesting information about medical tourism, for example, you will get extra marks for it. Yeah. But before you even discuss or support your ideas, of course, you have to state whether you agree or disagree. Yeah. You can first write out the outline, yeah, list the points, and then you decide, yeah, are there more advantages or disadvantages? Of course, when we talk about tourism, there are also the negative sides of it, right? You know, the negative culture that comes with tourism. Yeah, I think now people are talking about all these, you know, concerts that we are having in Malaysia. Yeah, when we have a certain concert, for example, we don't just have Malaysians attending the concert, but we have people from other countries who become tourists to our country because they want to attend that concert. So, you know, that's a good thing to a certain extent because it you know, it helps with our economy. But, you know, on the cultural aspect, perhaps there are also issues that can be, you know, further deliberated. Yeah, just to put it nicely there. So, you know, the discussion that you're going to include in the term paper will reflect, all right, on the knowledge that you have pertaining to tourism. Yeah, the maturity in your writing because of the knowledge that you have, right? These are all added value, yeah, to the piece of writing that you will submit at the end of the semester. Yeah, you will have to show, yeah, that you are second year students, all right, undergraduate studying in a university. So your term paper should not look like your SPM English paper. Yeah, cannot lah be like that anymore, kan? Yeah, it should have some maturity, yeah, in terms of your ideas, in terms of your language, yeah, in terms of the presentation of the paper itself. Okay. All right, Alhamdulillah. So we've looked at some of the examples. Yeah. Okay. So now let me go a little bit more detail into the different aspects to each paragraph. Yeah. In the introduction, all right, we start off with the introduction of the topic. Yeah, with the introduction of the issue. Sometimes we can use definitions. Yeah, we introduce terminologies, right? Like just now we have eating disorders. Yeah, so what is eating disorder? So you can have a definition, all right? You can explain what it means by tourism, for example. Yeah, maybe reasons why the issue is important to be highlighted, all right? And then at the end of the paragraph, in the introduction, you have what we call the thesis statement. Now, it's not easy to write a thesis statement, yeah, because it's a combination of your stand as well as your points, yeah. There are actually ways of how doing it. I'm sure your instructors are teaching you, okay? So we'll have a look at some examples, okay? So it's basically a sentence that clearly states your topic and your stand. Okay, let's look at the first example. All right, just now we talked about the parenting, yeah, who makes a better parent, your mother or your father. Okay, The usual comparison between men and women is brought up again when the question of who makes a better parent is raised. Very straightforward in one sentence. Yeah, the issue is being highlighted. Okay. And then immediately after that, you give your thesis statement. So in your thesis statement, you state your stand. I believe women make better parents than men because of two main reasons. Now, this is a very safe way of writing a thesis statement. Yeah, I sometimes teach my students to write it this way. If they cannot, they cannot write a parallel structure, all right? If they cannot write a sentence that is correct in terms of grammar, for example, yeah? So this is a very safe way of writing your thesis statement. You state your stand, and you also state that you are going to have two main reasons to support your stand, yeah? Now, alternatively, all right, alternatively, you can write it this way, okay? Again, yeah, you start with your opening sentence. The usual comparison between men and women is brought up again when the question of who makes a better parent is raised. And then your thesis statement. I believe women make better parents than men because of, okay, now the 2 points are written. Because of motherhood quality and time spent. Yeah, so perhaps, not everyone can come up with this collocation. Yeah, motherhood quality and then time spent. Yeah, you want to talk about the quality of the mother being a parent, and you want to also talk about the time that the mother is spending with the children. Yeah, so how do you put them together? Yeah, here it's written, as collocation. Yeah, motherhood quality and time spent. Okay. All right, let's go to the example on the animal testing. All right, same structure. You start off with an introductory sentence. Allah gives us many blessings, and one of them is animals. Animal testing is a big aspect in the field of science. Yeah, you add one more sentence. Yeah, trying to emphasize animal testing is important. Okay, because the question is asking for your opinion, so now you are responding in your thesis statement using "in my opinion," yeah, as the first part of your thesis statement. All right, so it's really, trying to address the question given earlier. In my opinion, these experiments on animals should not be stopped. All right, this is double negative, yeah, should not be stopped because of two main reasons. So again, yeah, this is a very safe way of writing your thesis statement. You're not stating the two main reasons, right? But you're just saying that you have two main reasons. Okay, let's see if we try and write the two main reasons. Okay. Again, Allah gives many blessings, and one of them is animals. Animal testing is a big aspect. In my opinion, these experiments on animals should not be stopped because first, they can contribute knowledge to science and can save people's life. Yeah, so you have, phrases that you have added in as first point and also second point. Yeah, so when your examiners look at the introduction, yeah, when they read your thesis statement, they are going to expect that in your body paragraph, the writer is going to discuss how animal testing is going to contribute to science. That's probably body paragraph 1. And then how animal testing can save people's life. That's probably body paragraph 2. Yeah, because you have two points that you have mentioned in your thesis statement. Yeah, so it can be as simple as this, very straightforward, but this can already make up the introduction of the paper. Okay. All right, so moving on to the body paragraph. Okay, like I said just now, the basic structure will be 4 paragraphs: introduction, 2 body paragraph, and conclusion. I think if we go by IELTS standard, all right, this is what is normally required, yeah, in writing. IELTS, as we know it, is an international placement test, yeah. So sometimes we benchmark, yeah, the way we write, yeah, our academic writing based on international exams. Okay, so for each body paragraph, you must have a topic sentence, yeah, and you also have supporting details. So what are supporting details? All right. Now, the word supporting, okay, the word supporting, if you look closely, what does it do? It supports. Yeah, what does it support? It supports your stand. It supports your opinion. Yeah, so what can be used to become supporting details? You can use examples. All right. Some people use the term illustrate. Yeah, illustrations. It makes it clearer. Okay. You can use explanations. Yeah, what does it mean by what was it just now? Eating disorders. Yeah, if I say eating disorder and I want to give examples, then maybe I will mention just the word anorexia. Okay, that's an example. But have I explained? No, not yet. Yeah, anorexia is just the example. Okay, then I need to perhaps explain what is anorexia. Yeah, and then I can give elaboration. Okay, you can have maybe one case. Yeah, you elaborate on the case and how it is described as an eating disorder. Yeah, so these are the different ways how you can support your stand or your idea. Yeah, you can use examples, you can explain, or you can elaborate. And don't forget, all right, to have a nice flow in your paragraph, you must use connectors. Yeah, there are many connectors, right? We have sequence connectors, we have logical connectors. Yeah, these are important aspects in writing that you have to utilize. Okay. So going back to the example just now, yeah, on the choice of whether it's father or mother, can, yeah. So this is one example of a body paragraph. Yeah, if we put together your ideas just now, yeah. So if I can just read it very quickly. Firstly, the natural motherhood quality that Allah has blessed upon women makes them better parents than men. Yeah, a mother's ability to endure pregnancy and childbirth makes her more qualified to bear the pain and suffering. Okay, the first sentence here in green, I think you can see the color, right? In green, that is probably an elaboration. Yeah, this is probably an elaboration. Yeah, the motherhood quality. What does it mean by the motherhood quality? The fact that she can become pregnant. Yeah, she gives birth. These are all qualities of a mother. Okay, and then okay, I have the discourse marker for example. Right, for example, that is a strong discourse marker to show examples or instances for the idea that was mentioned earlier. Yeah. For example, and then you give the actual example. Mothers can put up with the screams and shout of a naughty child. This is very specific. Yeah, this is what we want to see. Yeah, specific example is given to clarify, yeah, the point or the stand that you have mentioned in your topic sentence. All right. They know how to punish him so that he will not repeat the same mistake again. Yeah, you have two sentences. Okay, as an elaboration to the example that you have given. Yeah. At the same time, mothers can counsel the child if he's misbehaving badly. All right. So you have a diverse use of discourse marker. You do not want to use for example, and then another one for example, and then another one for instance. All right. Have a variety. Yeah, I'm sure you have been exposed to different discourse markers in the class. Okay, so make use of them. Yeah, but of course you have to use them correctly. Yeah, different discourse markers have different functions, right? Okay, and when you put all this, yeah, in the paragraph that you're writing, it will give a nice flow, yeah, to the ideas that you have. Okay, if you also notice, I started off with the word firstly. Yeah, this is what we call the sequence connector. Of course, after firstly, you have secondly, thirdly, but try not to be so rigid about it. Yeah, you can also have other types of discourse markers. Okay, so that's the first example. All right, and then moving on to the next body paragraph. Okay, you mentioned just now in your thesis statement that women make better parents because they spend more time with the child. So what we expect in this body paragraph will be elaboration on the time. Yeah, what is the quality time, or how is the time spent with the child? All right. So the mother spend a lot of time observing their child's behavior and well-being. Then you have for instance. Just now you have for example, now you have for instance. Yeah, try to vary, right, the discourse markers that you're using. Okay, and then you have hence. She will bring, what is that? She will bring the child immediately to visit the doctor if the child is not well, for example. Okay, and last, the last sentence. In addition, mothers are often concerned with every specific detail in the child's life. Yeah, so elaboration, examples, explanation, they are all being optimized. Yeah, they are being used, all right, to make sure that your body paragraph is a solid body paragraph. Yeah, you don't just put your stand in the topic sentence, but how do you, provide the details for your particular stand? Okay. All right. A little bit on the conclusion. Yeah, you can restate your thesis statement. Yeah, as I mentioned just now, just to remind your examiner or the person reading your work that this was my opinion that I mentioned at the beginning. Yeah, so for your term paper, okay, for your term paper, we need to expand a bit. For your term paper, it can be like, I'm not sure, maybe it's 5 pages or 10 pages. Yeah, so your readers may forget what your thesis statement at the beginning. Yeah, so it's very important, all right, to tie your ideas at the end of your paper. So what you need to do is you need to restate your thesis statement. Yeah, and then you must summarize the main ideas that you have presented in the term paper. Yeah, in your body paragraphs just now. What I shared with you are very simple, ideas, just 2 body paragraphs. But I'm imagining for your term paper, it will be more. Yeah, you will have more ideas, all right, that you will be writing. Yeah, more supporting details. All right, more examples. Yeah, maybe definitions as well. Okay, and then another good way also to end the whole term paper is to provide suggestions or comments or prediction, yeah, at the end of your term paper. But do not provide a new idea. Yeah, that is a big no. Yeah, suddenly, you drop the bomb, you have a third body paragraph or a third idea. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. All right. Conclusion, should just be very straightforward. It's basically wrapping up the ideas that you have mentioned earlier on. All right. So this is the conclusion. Yeah, for the term paper, the idea that you can put in, yeah, as part of your term paper. Okay, so just to share, this is one example of a conclusion. Yeah, a very typical, right? Students would write in conclusion. Now, just to remind you, this is the way to write. Yeah, in conclusion. It's not as a conclusion. Yeah, for a conclusion. All right. Because sometimes when you see all the time, you think it is correct. Actually, it's not. Yeah, this is the only correct way of writing in conclusion. Yeah, betul tak, Dr. Rafida? And yeah, sometimes students can be very creative. Yeah, as long as the word conclusion is there, okay lah kot. Yeah, no. In conclusion, this is the pair. Yeah, women are better than parents. Women are better parents than men due to the aspect of motherhood quality and time spent. Yeah, so you conclude with one sentence at the end. Yeah, although it's undeniable that fathers are equally important to the upbringing of the child, mothers are always there for the child in terms of times of joy and there's a little bit of creativity needed there. Yeah. Okay, so another example for the conclusion. Just now you have in conclusion, right? Now you have to sum up. Another way of writing, your conclusion. Yeah, I firmly believe that is reiterating your stand. Yeah, what you feel about the animal testing. All right, and if you look at the last sentence, the writer is throwing an idea. Yeah, I ask those quarters who want to stop animal testing to provide a better alternative, yeah, for the good of humankind. Of course, you know, at the moment we always resort to animal testing, right? Then only we use it on humans. Yeah, there's no other way of doing it. Okay? Of course, you know, different school of thoughts will have different ideas. Okay, so if you want to put everything together, this is how, you know, the simple essay would look like. All right, the first paragraph written in purple, yeah, that's the introduction. Okay, and then we have two body paragraphs. Yeah, firstly, all right, and then you have secondly, yeah, in the first body paragraph, all your sequence connectors are there, not being repeated. All right, you are demonstrating that you know how to use all these discourse markers. Yeah, and then finally in the conclusion, right, the signal is in conclusion, yeah, women are better parents. Okay, so this is a simple, straightforward, argumentative essay, I would say. Yeah, for your term paper, it will be an expansion of this, I'm sure. Yeah, because if you look closely, yeah, students, we have not put in any citation. Yeah, there is no citation here. That means we have not included any support from articles or any support from books. Yeah, there's no definition being included here. Yeah, so this is really the basic structure, all right, of an essay, of an argumentative essay, if I may say so. Yeah, so you need to expand, yeah, this structure to a more elaborated manner for your term paper. Yeah, I have to mention this. Yeah, I think if students do not understand, all right, this basic structure, it'll be very difficult, right, for you to go on to writing a good term paper. Yeah, it will be very difficult for you to write. Maybe some of you aspire to do your master's degree later on. Yeah, you will have to do research, right? These are the basic things that you need to have. Okay. All right, so that's the sample essay. Yeah, a little bit on the discourse markers or the signal words. Some people call it as signal words. Yeah, these are some of the words that you can make use. Yeah, not just for essay writing, but in any other assignments as well. Yeah, use them, you know, wisely. Don't just don't just use them because you want to have so many signal words. No, yeah, make sure you know, yeah, what the functions are for each signal word, right? There are words to show emphasis, there are words to show illustration, there are words to show cause and effect. Yeah, all this, look at that. Yeah, to show cause and effect, all these conjunctions, you have been using them. Because, therefore, so, thus. Yeah, so make sure you know when to use them wisely. Okay, other signal words, yeah, we also have to show additional information, furthermore, moreover. Yeah, last of all, when you want to use last of all, of course, it has to appear at the end. Yeah, you cannot have it at the beginning of your body paragraph. Okay, to show similar ideas. Okay, in like manner, likewise, yeah, in the same way, similarly, right? One thing I have to remind you, these words, they must be written with precision. Yeah, when you say in the same way, it has to be written in the same way. You don't say in a same way. That's wrong. Yeah, that's not accurate. All right. In contrast, I'm looking at the last one, yeah, to show contrasting ideas. You say in contrast, you don't say on contrast. All right, that is unacceptable. Okay, so accuracy is very important as well, right? Signal words are important for, for the flow of your term paper. Okay, all right. I think it's already almost 1 hour, yeah, Dr. Rafida. Okay, so that was just an overview, okay, of what an academic writing is, yeah, in terms of essay writing. Yeah, I think even if you have to take an exam, that's how the essay should look like, right? Without the citation. Okay, so we're going to move on now to the citation techniques. All right, I've promised Dr. Rafida that I will share a bit, yeah, on the citation techniques. Okay, so what does it mean by citations? Yeah, and what are some of the strategies that we have? Okay, now before we move on further to the citation techniques, yeah, just to I think this is a reminder for me as well as a researcher, yeah, we have to acknowledge, right, the importance of citing, yeah, other people's work. Okay, it's part and parcel of doing research. Okay, and we have to always remind ourselves that when we do research, we are always taking other people's ideas, yeah, we are always using other people's work, right, to be incorporated into our work. Yeah, when you students are writing term papers, whether you realize it or not, you are digging information. Yeah, you're always looking for information from, you know, other sources. Yeah, and indirectly you are also using other people's work. Yeah, so it's always a good idea to acknowledge, right, the fact that this is not my work. I am using other people's work, so I need to acknowledge, yeah, that I've taken this from somewhere, yeah, whether it's from a book, from a thesis, yeah, or from articles. I think very often it's always the articles that students are looking at. Yeah, you know, when we ask students to do literature review, the first thing that they do, Google Scholar. Itu je lah kan, the easiest thing to do, right? So you go to Google Scholar and you will download a lot of articles from there. Yeah, so yeah, it's part and parcel of doing a term paper where you need to cite. For some of you who will be engaged in research, yeah, you will also need to do a lot of citation. Okay, I'm not sure in UITM. I think it's probably the same culture. Yeah, we in UIA, lecturers, instructors are encouraged to assign students to do mini research. Yeah, or a term paper that is very research in nature. Yeah, and so students need to familiarize themselves with, you know, basic things like citation. Okay, because we want to, you know, inculcate this research culture among our students. Yeah, okay, so just a little overview, yeah, on why we cite sources. Okay, of course, it is to add credibility to our ideas, yeah, and to let readers know that we are making a point, right? What we are trying to put forth is something important. Right, depending on the discipline, yeah, depending on which faculty you come from, all right, who you are citing, all right, which authority that you are citing, you know, all these big names when it comes to a certain discipline, yeah, people in linguistics, for example, Dr. Rafida studied corpus linguistics in Birmingham, yeah, so so she will be, you know, using names related to corpus linguistics. Right, John Swales, for example, that's a very big name in corpus linguistics. Yeah, so when others read her article, they know that she is reading the right material, yeah, for the discipline that she is specializing in. Yeah, Chomsky, for example, he's a very big name in grammar. Yeah, so when you have names like these authorities in your term papers, it shows or it reflects that you are reading the right material. Yeah, you are telling your instructors that I have read, yeah, the right materials and I'm citing all these big names into my term paper. Yeah, so you're not just reading, but you're doing serious reading. Yeah, so it gives a very good impression of the work. Yeah, it adds, like I said just now, yeah, it adds credibility to your ideas. Yeah. And then citing these sources also support your opinion. Yeah, it gives a louder, quote unquote, voice, yeah, to the work that you are doing, right? Because we are using scholars, yeah, the scholars' work. It gives credit and recognition to those who have done their research prior to others. Yes, I think this is very important. You want to give credit to those people who have written those articles. Yeah. Now, do not think that it's just for them. When you have completed your work, inshallah, people will also be using your article, right, to support their work in the future. Yeah, so it's going to be, you know, a virtuous cycle, inshallah. All right, we give credit to those who have done research before you, and then later, inshallah, students will also use your work, cite your articles, and they will, use the correct techniques, all right, to give credit to your work. Yeah. And of course, I think the last point, this must be mentioned, and this must be mentioned loudly, to avoid plagiarism. Yeah. This is very important. Okay, because students always find it, cutting and pasting other people's work to become part of their work. Yeah. Now, I think you all know, right? There are so many tools now that your instructors can use to detect plagiarism. Yeah. You can also use those tools, right? Make use of Grammarly, make use of Quiltball, right? Make use of Turnitin if you have an account, yeah, to check your own work first before you submit. All right. In Turnitin now, for example, they can even check whether you have used Cgct. Yeah. Is this really your own sentences, or did you just, cedok from somewhere? Yeah. Was this cut and pasted from somewhere? Okay. So plagiarism is also something that you should avoid. And how can we avoid plagiarism? By citing sources. Yeah, we need to cite. Yeah, we need to mention where we got the information from. Okay, so let's have a look at these 4 ways to write your citations. Okay, so basically we have 4 strategies. We can quote. Yeah, so it's quoting. We can summarize. Yeah, or summarizing. Okay, there's also paraphrasing, and there's also synthesizing. Yeah. So some of you may not be familiar with the word quoting, but you are familiar with the word quotation. Yeah. So quotation is the easiest of them all, right? Okay. And then summarizing, I think for us Malaysians, my Malaysian students here, all of you were supposed to do a summary, right? Back during your SPM. Yeah. I think even during my time, right, Dr. Rafida, we also had to do a summary, can? Yeah. You see how important it is. It is always popular until today. Yeah, you are still summarizing. Okay, paraphrasing is part of summarizing. Yeah, in order for you to summarize, you also need to know how to paraphrase. Okay, and perhaps maybe the most challenging is synthesizing. Yeah, synthesizing is basically having more than one source, and you want to put together all these ideas into your own sentence. All right, so let's have a look at each and every type of citation. Okay, we'll start with quotation first. Yeah, okay. So when do we quote? In fact, you need to ask yourself, when do I write a quotation, or when do I write a summary, or when do I paraphrase, or when do I synthesize? Yeah, you have to ask yourself that question constantly, because you don't want to just write quotation all the time, yeah, for your term paper, or you don't want to just summarize everything. As you find an article, you summarize. As you find another article, you summarize. As you find another article, you summarize. No, you don't do that. All right, there is a reason why you write a quotation. There is a reason why you summarize. There is also reasons why you synthesize. Yeah, so you have to know all this. All right, of course your instructors would also like to see that you have all the 4 skills. Yeah, you know how to quote, you know how to summarize, you know how to synthesize, and you know how to paraphrase. Okay, let's have a look at the first one. Yeah, when should I quote? Okay, quoting is basically using word by word. Yeah, exactly the same as what you have found in the source. Yeah, in the article or in the thesis that you're reading or in the book that you have. Yeah, so this is when you write a quotation. Yeah, when exact wording is needed. Sometimes it can be technical jargons. Yeah, there's no way that you can find another vocabulary for it, so you quote. Yeah. Sometimes it's a definition from the authorities, yeah, definition from scholars, right? You also want to use word by word as mentioned, okay? Sometimes you need quotation because that is the most vivid way of explaining, yeah, the terminology, for example, yeah, it's the most expressive way of doing it, okay? And of course, people write quotation because of definition, yeah, when a definition is needed. Okay. So how do we write the quotation? Now, quotations can be categorized into two. Yeah. First is the long quotation, and then the short quotation. Kalau ada long adalah short, kan? Yeah. So the long quotation. So what is the long quotation? The quotation comprises of 40 words or more. When you look at the words in the original source, yeah, let's say you are looking at a definition, maybe it has more than 40 words. So you cannot have it as a short quotation. It has to be a long quotation. Yeah, anything more than 40 words will be a long quotation. All right, it's always written in a block manner. So sometimes long quotation is also referred to as block quotation. It's block. Yeah, I'll show you an example in a short while. Yeah, it is indented. Yeah, it's not written the normal way a paragraph is written, right? And of course, in the long quotation, you know, when you use long quotations, you must cite, all right, the name, the surname, the year, as well as the page number. Yeah, in the actual original article, for example, that you found the definition. Yeah, what is the page number? So that is also required as part of the citation for long quotation. Okay, so this is a simple example that I have here. Yeah, this is according to APA. Yeah, I think everybody is familiar with APA, I believe. Yeah, this is the commonly used citation technique for mostly human scientists like us. Yeah, human sciences. Okay. A recent research has demonstrated that, okay, this is what we call an introductory statement. Yeah, it's not a complete sentence. Yeah, but an introductory statement. Yeah, a recent research has demonstrated that. Okay, and then you have the whole thing. The belief in magic is a fundamental property of the human mind, individuals, blah, 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 and so on. This whole thing, yeah, was taken word by word from the original article written by Kelly, 2014. Yeah, and in this case, it was written on the first page of the article, right? So there's page 1 down there, yeah, written in bracket. So this is a simple example of how a long quotation looks like, all right? Now, everything is in the block quotation down there, yeah? Another example, we have Jones' 1998 study found the following. Now, this is an example of an integral in-text quotation, yeah, because Jones' name, all right, is part of the whole thing, right? The first example, Kelly, was written in the bracket, yeah, but in the second example, Jones was written as part of the introductory phrase, yeah, and then you have, you know, the whole thing. Students often had difficulty and all that, yeah, and another interesting part, you can put the page number at the end. Yeah, in bracket, but at the end. Yeah, whether the page number is written at the beginning or at the end is not really an issue. But for quotations, it is a must to have the page number. Yeah. Okay, so you notice also it is indented. Yeah, dia ke dalam sikit lah. Alright. So these are simple examples of long quotations. Okay. Okay, moving on to the short quotation. Okay, just now we had long, now you have the short quotation. Okay, still, yeah, you can introduce the short quotation using an introductory phrase. Okay, it's still word by word from the original source. Okay, but one thing that distinguishes short quotation from the long quotation is that it uses the quotation mark. Yeah, itulah nama dia quotation kan. Yeah, you have some people call it open and closed inverted commas, right? Okay. So for short quotations, you must use the open and closed quotation marks. Yeah. Okay. Still, it has to support your points. Yeah. Any quotation should do that. All right. So here's an example. Okay. In the original article, let's say you found, this idea written by Furo, 1993. Okay, at the bottom, I have put there the source, yeah, the source of the information. So that is the original. Okay. Now, how do you put that as part as your work? Okay, how do you put that as part of your short quotation in your term paper? Now, always begin with the introductory paragraph. Introductory phrase. Okay. Now, I'm using again the author's name. So Theodore L actually is Lester, the first name, and I know that he is an economist. How do I know? Through my reading. Yeah, this is the part where you have to read everything. You don't just do, cherry picking. Yeah, you just read different parts of the article only, but try to read as much as possible so that you really understand what you're reading. So in this case, I know Theodore or Lester Theodore is an economist. So I can have, this sentence. Economist Lester Theodore has asserted that the American blah, 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 okay? And then somewhere at the end, I put in the short quotation, Americans fear globalization less than anyone else. Where did I get this? From his original article. Look at the second sentence, yeah, in the original article, yeah? It's exactly the same, okay? So in my short quotation, I have Lester's name at the beginning, part of the introductory phrase. I have put the year in bracket, 1993, is still the same as the original. And then the last one, I have the page number written in paragraph, yeah, page 6. Okay. All right. You don't want to plagiarize. Okay, you don't want to plagiarize. Plagiarism can happen if you still use word by word, but you forget to do the needful. That means you forget to follow the formatting. Yeah. For a short quotation, I'm sure your instructors have reminded you, you must have open and close inverted commas. Now look at the last column or the last box on plagiarism. Yeah. You have word by word, tapi you forgot to put the open and close inverted commas. Okay. So in this case, it's missing. And then another thing that you've forgotten is you've forgotten the page number. Yeah. You did not put in the page number. So that's plagiarism. All right. So you can, you can compare, yeah, which one is acceptable and which one is plagiarized. Okay. Okay. Another sample. We have the original material here. While we possess all of the intelligences, perhaps no two person or not even identical twins exhibit them in the same combination of strength. Okay. So let's say this came from Gardner, 1999. I will put in Gardner's name. Yeah. It becomes an inside in-text quotation. Okay. And Gardner explained, and the whole thing exactly the same from his article. But because it is short quotation, I have the open inverted commas and also close inverted commas, and the page number is written at the end. Yeah, page 72. Okay. All right. So that is the sample for the short quotation. Okay. When is it that short quotations, or when is it that quotations for that matter is unnecessary? When is it that it becomes an unnecessary? Sometimes they just want to have a short quotation because, oh, Dr. Rafida says we have to make sure we have a short quotation. Yeah, no, you have to have a reason why you have to write or use the short quotation. Okay, now I have here an example how a short quotation is being used, but it is not effective. Yeah, but it's not effective, or what we've written here is not noteworthy. Yeah. If you look at what's written in red there, in Norway, the broadcasting ad bans advertising directed at children and advertising in connection with children's programming on television and radio. The ban applies to the advertising of any products, including food and beverages. Everything is taken word by word. Inverted commas are being used, but in actual fact, this could have been paraphrased. Yeah, this could have been effectively used better in a paraphrasing, not using a quotation. Yeah, all right. somehow I get the feeling that the student is a bit lazy. I want to include something from an article, but I don't want to paraphrase. So I will just do short quotation. Yeah, don't do that. That's not a good strategy. Yeah, your examiners or your instructors will see, yeah, whether you have effectively used each citation technique. All right. So this is an example of how, you know, the quotation is not used effectively. Yeah, in fact, it could have been a paraphrase. Yeah, paraphrase version. Okay, so moving on to paraphrasing. When should we paraphrase? Okay, when the information you need from the source is just 1 or 2 sentences. Okay, so you want to say it in a different way. Okay, the idea of the sentence is more important than the exact words of the original source. Okay, or if you do not want to directly quote the sentence, right? Like I said just now, yeah, in the example earlier, it's more effective to paraphrase rather than to quote. Yeah. So this is when you paraphrase. Okay. Okay. Are we still there, everyone? Dr. Rafida? Okay. Because I think my camera has frozen. Sekejap, eh. This is the thing that I was afraid of. Okay. Sekejap.
Dr. Ainul, are you still there? Kam Zainul, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you. Probably she's having, probably Dr. Ainul is having trouble with her line or something. Dr. Ainul, are you there?
I think she's having technical problems.
Is it?
Hold on. I'm contacting her. Okay, she's coming.
Okay. Oh, she's back.
She's back. Okay, guys, do you understand, boys and girls? Okay, if you have any question, please prepare your question. Okay, at the end of the session, we will have Q&A. Okay, guys? Okay?
Okay, so is Dr. Ainul coming back? Wait, because
Yes,
right,
yes, she's coming. She's coming.
Oh, she's coming. Because one student wrote here in the chat box, the audio is audible, but the video is frozen. Probably, you know? She's coming
okay.
back. She's coming
Yeah,
back.
she's coming back. Hold on,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, sorry.
Okay. Technology and the
Yes,
disadvantages of technology at this moment.
I think the computer is a bit tired because it has been meeting since morning. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, we were talking about paraphrasing just now, yeah? Okay, just a little bit more, hang on there, yeah, people? Okay, so so when should we paraphrase? Okay, so when there's just one or two sentences that we want to highlight, when we don't want to use quotation, okay, and also when the idea of the sentence is more important than the exact words. When we feel very confident that we can relay the same ideas or message in our own words. So this is when we try to paraphrase. Yeah. Okay. What can we do? Yeah. What are the strategies? Right. What are the strategies to use when you want to paraphrase? Firstly, you can change the sentence structure. From maybe active to passive voice. If the original one is a passive voice, then you can change to active voice. Okay, we can change clauses to phrases, or even vice versa. Okay, these are all related to language. It comes with a lot of practice. You can ask your instructors to help you. Okay, you can change part of speeches. From adjective, you can change it to become noun, or from noun, it can become adjectives. Yeah, of course. You have to make sure it's grammatical, right? You can even change vocabularies, right? You can change words, but they must carry the same meaning. Yeah. Okay. So these are some of the strategies that you can use. Okay. Paraphrasing is always a better way, yeah, to write your citation. Okay. People say that rather than just writing quotation, because that seems to be the easiest, you just use word by word from the original, you demonstrate a little bit more of your grasp of the language, your mastery of the language when you paraphrase. Yeah. So let's have a look at this example. Okay. This is from the World Health Organization. Okay. It published the recommendation for policymakers regarding marketing food and beverages for children. Okay. The report noted that the country, right, has enacted law that prohibits all advertising to children, including for drinks or food. So this is just an example. Okay. Now, how do we paraphrase this? Okay. Let's have a look at how we can paraphrase this. So, okay, that's one, right? That's one example. Okay, now we have another one. Okay, this is from Schumann. Okay, the original says, like drought, excess rainfall, and flooding can also contribute to epidemics of waterborne infectious diseases. In this case, due to poor sanitation resulting from runoff from overwhelmed sewage lines or the contamination of water by livestock. Now, before you attempt the paraphrasing, it's very important that you understand what you're reading. Ya, betul tak Dr. Rafida? Dr. siapa lagi dekat sini?
Betul.
I know, right?
Yes. You have to understand the content before you are able to say it in your own words. Right?
Yes, because now you're moving one step further, right? Not
exactly.
using the original words anymore, but now you are attempting to use your own words. So of course you have to understand what is written, yeah, and that includes the vocabulary. Okay, so here I'm giving you a simple example. The box in the middle, yeah, the use of different vocabulary to replace the original words in the original source. Yeah, so if you look at the words written in red, an abundance of rainfall. So an abundance of rainfall refers to excess of rainfall. Yeah? Instead of using the word excess again, you have overabundance. And then you have to be a factor in spreading. A factor in spreading. That is to replace contribute. Yeah, contribute to epidemics. So epidemics can also be replaced with spreading. Okay, and then you have diseases carried by water. Carried by water in the original source, the word waterborne. Yeah, so you have to understand what waterborne means. Okay, and then you have overflowing sewers, right? In the original, it is run off from overwhelmed sewage lines. Okay, so again, the mastery of the language, all right, your ability to perhaps use low frequency words, that is definitely a plus point. All right, you can, demonstrate that in your paraphrase versions, of your sentences or your support for your term paper. Okay. So again, I would like to repeat. You can change sentence structures. You can change words. You use synonyms. Okay. How is it that we know the word overabundance? How is it that you know the word overflowing, for example? How is it that you understand the word waterborne? This is all through reading. And again, reading, there's no shortcut to reading. Okay. Some people are cheeky. They can ask others to write, to do the assignment for them, but you cannot ask others to read for you. Okay, there's no shortcut to reading. All right, so never, attempt, that. All right, do not ask, no shortcut to reading. Okay, all right. Next one, summarizing. Okay, I think this is something that is very familiar to all of you. Okay, we write summaries because we want to basically shorten the ideas from the original material. Okay, you only want to highlight the central idea. All right, you only want to look at the important points. You are not going to include examples. Okay, you simplify the arguments. All right, but at the same time you maintain the meaning. This is when you try to summarize. Okay, so what are the strategies? I think you all know this. Okay, you note the key points, all right, from the source. You omit details. You don't include examples, right? You can interpret and analyze the main ideas, but never copy word by word. Then you will be labeled as plagiarizing. If you are using word by word. Okay, analyze and interpret, and then you try to express it in your own words. Okay. Now, the rule of thumb for a summary writing is it has to be shorter. How short? It is 1/3 from the original text. So if you have, that paragraph, the original paragraph that you're reading is about 90 words. So your summary should be just about 30 words, just 1/3 of the original. Okay, I think there's no harm if you want to do counting. After all, a term paper, you are doing it on your own. It's not like an exam. So take time, right, to even look into the technical aspects of the citations. Okay, whether it's 40 words, whether it is 1/3 of the original source. You can slowly look into all that. Okay. So just now, the strategies. Okay, so this is the steps. What are the 5 main steps? Okay, first you have to read to understand. Just like doing paraphrasing, you must read. Okay, identify the author's main points. Write your summary in your own notes. Write using your own words. Okay, and then check what you have written against the original. If the original has 5 main ideas, for example, make sure in your summary there are also 5 main ideas. Don't leave out any. And of course, the very last part, you must revise and edit your new sentences. Your summary that you have written based on the original article. Revising and editing, these are 2 important steps that you must make. Okay, so I've shared here, one original text by Stiglitz. And then at the bottom, you can see the revised version or the summarized version. At one glance, you already know, you can already see that it's shorter, And in this case, Stiglitz is written as an in-text citation, His name starts off the paragraph, His name is written as part of the paragraph, okay? There is no page number because this is not a quotation. All right, so you only need the name and the year. Okay, all right. another set of sample summaries. Okay. Maybe I can just highlight what's written on the right. Yeah. You cannot, write a summary that is almost more or less the same in terms of the length. Yeah, from the original. Then it's not a summary. Sama je lah. Then it becomes a paraphrasing. Yeah. So a summary needs to be shorter. Definitely needs to be shorter than the original source. Yeah. So leave out all the unnecessary details. Okay. A good summary expresses the main idea. Yeah. Keeps and maintains the main idea. But the sentence structure, the vocabulary, they are different now. Yeah. They are written using your own. Okay. It cannot be similar in the sentence structure and vocabulary. Okay, so that will make a good summary. Okay, we've reached the last part. Yeah, synthesizing. Okay, as I mentioned just now at the beginning, yeah, synthesizing is probably the most challenging skill. Yeah, when it comes to citation techniques. Okay, why do I say this? Because first, you're looking at more than one source. Yeah, in quotations, yeah, in paraphrasing, in writing a summary, normally we are just focusing on one particular article. But for synthesizing, as long as you are going beyond one article, as long as you're looking at more than one source, then it's called a synthesis. Yeah. So what is a synthesis? Okay, a synthesis means you find out some significant points. Of course, it will be from books, from articles, yeah, from theses, from other people's work, and you want to conjure them together. You want to put them together as part of your work. So you will find in your term papers to support your ideas, you have all these different opinions from different articles, different theses. You want to use them all. How can you use all these ideas, all right, effectively, correctly, yeah, based on the APA format, for example, into your work? So there are ways to do it, right? You have to learn how to do it. So this comes under the citation technique, yeah? So synthesis is defined as a special principle of gathering information and reflecting it on your own work, yeah? So you are basically summarizing, you are also basically paraphrasing, yeah? But you are putting them all as part of your work. So if you don't know how to paraphrase, you don't know how to summarize, susah lah. Yeah, then you will not be able to write a good synthesis. Yeah, because when you synthesize, you are doing all that as well. You are summarizing and paraphrasing. Okay, so if I can just share, yeah, the infographic lah, yeah, the explanation in a graphical manner. All right, so you have all these different authors. Yeah, so let's say this the blue bubbles are the different authors. Okay, so you may have 3 authors talking about the same theme or the same idea. Yeah, or they are of the same opinion, right? And then you have another 3 set of authors having another set of opinion or another set of theme, right? And then maybe another set of writers having a different opinion altogether. Yeah. But you want to put all these ideas in your term paper, all right? You don't want to leave any of them out because they are important. They are up to date. They are relevant. They will support your term paper, right? So you want to incorporate all their ideas into your term paper, okay? So as you read, sometimes you don't know, right? What their opinions are, yeah, what their ideas are. So slowly, yeah, you organize the resources according to the ideas. That's very important. This is always the tip I give my students. You organize them according to ideas, not according to authors. Yeah, because in the end, it is your idea, all right? It is the idea that will make up, all right, a paragraph or a section of your term paper. Yeah, so you will put people of the same ideas into one section of your term paper. Okay, so you can organize them in an infographic manner first. Yeah, remember when we do writing, okay, term paper, essay, you always do your outline, right? So you can, outline it in this manner. Okay, so you have all these articles and materials that you are reading. Organize them first. Okay, another way, all right. Let's say you found 5 articles. Yeah, they are all talking about the same issue. Put them in a manner like this. Okay, article 1 is probably supporting the issue. Yeah, Article 2, sorry, Article 1 is probably disagreeing, contrast. Okay, Article 2 is probably proposing. Yeah, is an article that is agreeing to the issue. Article 3, another con. Article 4, another con, and then Article 5 is proposing. Okay, read them accurately. Yeah, read them critically. Find out what the opinion is. Yeah, and then slowly, yeah, you take the gist of the ideas coming from the articles. All right, you have to take note. Yeah, of the similarities, of the differences. Yeah, that's why I think, you know, writing, yeah, before you can even write effectively, you must have good reading skills. Yeah, you have to take, you know, you have to be able to take notes, right, of the ideas, yeah, of the opinions, what's written in each article that you're reading. Okay, then you summarize the main points. Okay, this is very important, step by step, yeah, when you do synthesizing. Okay, here's a simple example. Okay, we've got 4 articles, yeah, contoh lah, yeah. Let's say the first one by Grape and Kaplan. Okay, 4 writers, Grape and Kaplan, 1996. You have Kroll, 2001, and you have Silver, 1990. Okay, now these authors, you have read their work, and you found that they all share a similar idea. Yeah, they all you know, have the same opinion, or what we say, you know, they are on the same page. Yeah, contemporary second language writing theories. Yeah, they are theories actually, people who, you know, who come up with theories. Point out that a substantial number of studies on English as a second language writing started to emerge in 1960s. So when you read their articles, this idea came up in their respective articles. Yeah, so you decide to put them together, all right, as part of your term paper. So when you put them together, you know, in a sentence, like what I have written here, it is actually a sentence, yeah, where all the names are written together. All right, why are they together in a sentence? Because they share the same idea. Yeah, all these authors mentioned that research on ESL writing started in the 1960s. Okay, similar idea. Okay, and then another example here. This is by Bond, 2002. So he's got all these ideas. And then by Robertson, he also has all these ideas. And when you look at all these ideas, you come to a conclusion that they share the same opinion. Yeah, English is the global world language. How do we know this? Of course, it's based on your understanding. Yeah, whether you like it or not, you have to have that reading skill. How is it that you understand that Bond, yeah, in his article is actually saying English is a global language? How is it that Robertson, with his ideas, he is actually saying English is a global language? Yeah? So when you read separate articles, you still have to be able to put those ideas together. So now how do we put this in a sentence? Okay, another 2 sets of text, all right, by Javier and Kirsten, and they are saying that English is not a global language. So we've got 4 authors now. I want to put all these 4 authors' ideas into my paper, so I'm going to synthesize them. Okay, so how do I put them together? 2 proposing, 2 contrast. Okay, so this is an example. All right, 2 sentences actually. Yeah, we can have a synthesis written in 2 sentences, and that can make up a paragraph. Not necessarily in 1 sentence. Yeah, because there are 2 contrasting ideas. Okay, so you can see something like this. Yeah, supporting the contention that English is the dominant world language. So who is supporting this idea? Bond and Robertson. All right, so you put Bond and Robertson, point out its importance as the medium of international communication in business, technology, and global forum. Where did I get all this? From their articles. Yeah, so the first sentence, I put together Bond and Robertson because they share the same idea. Now, in the second sentence, still part of the synthesis, I use the word however. Remember, however is a discourse marker to show contrast. Yeah, so however, now I'm reading the red sentence. Others argue that despite its apparent dominance, English is not the global language. So others here referring to Seppel, Harville, and Kirsten. I can have them written at the end in bracket, not necessarily part of the sentence, yeah? But the whole paragraph that I have written here is in fact a synthesis, yeah? A synthesis of 4 articles, yeah? A synthesis of 4 ideas coming from 4 different authors, all right? So that's one simple example, yeah, very straightforward of a synthesis, okay? So just to conclude, all right, some last few points, yeah, tips on writing citation, yeah, as I mentioned just now over and over again, you must enhance your critical reading skill, yeah. Dr. Zaino will support me, Dr. Amelia will agree with me, yeah. You have to have good reading skill, yeah, at this level, not just reading any reading skill, but critical reading skill, okay. You must stay focused, yeah. Students nowadays are easily distracted, right? When you do your term paper, pi campak jauh-jauh your handphone, yeah. Masa tu lah nak tengok TikTok kan, nak buka Instagram. No, stay focused, yeah. Stay focused so that you know which article is supporting your idea, which article is not supporting your idea, because you have to do synthesis, yeah. You have to broaden your resources. Don't just go to Google Scholar. I think this is the, you know, this is the easiest, most convenient way students have, yeah. They don't want to go to the library, so they just Google and search whatever is available in the Google Scholar. There are many other resources that you can look at, yeah. If you are stuck, yeah, always seek help, all right. Don't go for consultation, meet your lecturers in the final weeks of the semester, right? Dr. Rafida, we have to hunt for them, can? Yeah, not sure where they've been for the past 12-13 weeks, right? Don't do that, yeah. Your first draft should not be your final draft, yeah. Academic writing is a process writing, right? There must be several drafts, yeah. When I say several drafts, that means you are improving your writing, okay. And of course, very important, yeah, check your grammar, right? Check your introductory phrases, all your discourse markers, okay. Improve your vocabulary, right? From time to time, you must improve your vocabulary, yeah. It has to reflect that you are a university student, okay. Not just a student at SPM level or metric level, yeah. Okay, so okay, I also have here some websites, right? You can go to, yeah. I think everyone knows, if we are looking at citation techniques, the APA, normally people will refer to Purdue, yeah, University of Purdue. Now with APA version 7, yeah. When we talk about formatting, yeah, citation techniques, you don't have to memorize. You don't have to memorize the format. No, there are templates to help you. All right. When you find a source, when you look at an article, for example, you can quickly upload it into your Mendeley. Yeah, Mendeley is like your own personal library, right? It's a storage for you where you keep all your articles, regardless of what the topic is. Just put them, dump them into Mendeley. Later on, when you do your term paper, you fetch from Mendeley, because Mendeley will automatically help you, yeah, to update your references at the end of your term paper. Yeah, you can tell Mendeley, I want this to be formatted according to APA. I want it to be formatted according to Chicago, for example. It can be done for you automatically. You just have to know how to use the software. Yeah? Mendeley is free. All right. So your generation, right? You guys are better off actually, okay, compared to us. Some of us are still in the cave. All right. I cannot mention that too loudly, right, Dr. Rafida? We are learning from our students as well. All right. Okay. So these are some of the list of references. I will share my slides with your instructors. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. This is just a picture that I'm sharing with you. The last batch of final year project students, my FYP students, yeah, all 10 of them, they graduated last November. Okay, I think you can find the instructor, right? She's somewhere there.
Yeah, that's her in the middle.
Middle.
Lovely.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's all from me today.
Okay, so right. Okay, thank you, Dr. Ainul, for that informative talk. Right, I'm sure that we have benefited a lot. I'm so glad that you reiterate what we have been talking to our own students. Okay, I would like to say that you have talked about the format of a term paper or a research paper. So basically, okay, you just now you talked about the 5-paragraph essay. Okay, so well, probably we're gonna ask students to have more paragraph, because for this code this semester students are doing one term paper and it is to be done with 3 other people. It's a group kind of work. Yeah, so one student
Collaborative, yeah.
right, collaborative, right? So one student will have to come up with at least 2 points, okay, related to the topic. So basically we will have 8 points, right? 8 ideas on that particular topic, right? So okay, so I'm also glad that you have talked about the content. Okay, so many times we have repeated over and over and over again. So I hope that students are familiar with the terms such as thesis statement, topic sentences,
yes,
supporting details. Okay, what they are? They are explanation, they are examples, they are elaboration, right? So we and then you have got the summary, the conclusion, and all. We'll drill this them. We'll drill all this to them. So hopefully it will make some sense when they actually jump into the project and do it themselves, right? Okay. So in terms of content, so I'm so glad that you talk about that. So like after hearing it, I know they have some ideas of what a term paper looks like. It's just that I think it's good that you share it again, because then it will be a constant reminder. In Islam also, it is stated that manusia memang mudah lupa, isn't it? We are all forgetful, right? Okay, so it's good that we have you to actually remind all of us of what's important in coming up with good term paper, as you say. Okay, and then the third thing I focus is the technique that you mentioned. So you talk about the format, you talk about the content, and then you also talk about the technique, making use of quotation, quoting, paraphrasing, summarizing, and synthesizing. I think probably the first 3 are not that difficult, but basically the last one is a killer, right? Whereby, right, it's a killer actually. Okay, so even we have some lecturers also will have a difficult time if they don't know how to synthesize a few different articles and put it in one paragraph. Okay, so I think that is very important, whereby you touch when you read critically. And so when that is very important to bear in mind, my dear students, so that you basically know what is it that you are looking for in all these different articles, so that you can merge, you can collect the idea and present them as your own stance, right? Okay, so I think you emphasize it, of course, the importance of in-text citation plus the references in order to avoid plagiarism and to give credits when credit is due. So I think that your talk, probably what interests me is the fact that you mentioned, your term paper is actually enhancing your critical thinking skills in order to turn all of us into critical thinkers. I think that is very important, to make all of us critical thinkers, in a sense like we just simply don't accept what other people say by not looking or not going out to look for evidence ourselves, right? So that is very interesting for me, in a sense like, yes, when you are a critical thinker, when an issue is actually imposed upon you and the discussion is about to begin, so you have to state your stance. Just now you talk about argumentative essay kind of thing. You have to take your stance, and in order to prove that you are a good critical thinker, is the fact that you have to back it up. You have to provide evidence. You have to support your stance. How do you do this? It's actually through research, isn't it? Because then only people will start to believe what you say is credible, isn't it? Right? Okay. So right. Okay. So these are the things that I hope that all our students pick up on this thing, so that when they start working on their term paper, right? So these are the questions that they should be remember, because if they don't follow what you have talked about, the format, the content, and the technique, probably they go off tangent, right? And of course, we are the lecturers who gonna bring them back to the straight path, as they say, right? Okay, so I think it's very important that right. You have talked it. Okay, so probably we are going to welcome some questions from the students. Okay, may I? Right. Anyone has a question? Okay, for Dr. Ainul, students.
Wow, looks like semua orang faham, like everybody understood what they
Must have been.
very good, a good lecture that I know. Wow.
Either that or
Yeah, I think what's happening, Dr. Ainul, is I think like they are trying to digest what is it that you have presented for the past 2 hours slowly. Yeah, they are digesting slowly. That is why no questions seem to pop up in our chat box.
Dr. Zainal, if I may add, I think what I have shared with everyone today, I did not even mention once the word literacy review.
Yep.
But actually these are the fundamentals. Writing a good citation, using good citation techniques, I think it's very essential for a good literature review. Our students will find themselves writing term papers where literature review is a must, right? So this is actually something that they cannot avoid. They have to grasp the foundation of doing citations, of citing other people's work, right? I think in any discipline, from my from the experience that I go through right now, being the head of research for a very big kuliah, my faculty alone, we have 212 lecturers. So I try and take care of the publication and the research aspect of our faculty members. So sometimes, they ask me if I can conduct workshops on literature review. These are the same things that we emphasize. All right. Okay, I have a question, I think, from Dr. Rafida.
Rafida.
What happens if students plagiarize? Okay. My question first. At which point or at what juncture do you discover that the student plagiarized? Okay, I think if it is still in the process of the writing, of course, we have to highlight to them. They have to rectify all this plagiarized work. Either they, paraphrase or they write a different way, summarize and things like that. But if we discover the plagiarism after the submission is done, then they are in trouble. They are in trouble. All right. I think for the most part, at least in my department, what we do is any submissions, term papers, final project, we will run the work under Turnitin. We will run the work under Turnitin. So I always tell my students, if you don't have Turnitin, because Turnitin is is something that we have to pay for, just use Grammarly, for example. There are so many other free tools, right, on the internet for you to check your own work. Have that done before you submit the actual or the final draft. It's okay to make mistakes. I always tell this to my students. It's always okay to make mistakes in class. During the semester. This is where you make the mistakes, right? But don't make the mistake or don't plagiarize or discovered to be plagiarized after your submission. That's very dangerous. I think when we talk about the internet, our students are always ahead of us. They know more tools than us. You can always help each other. All right. Sometimes in my class we also do peer feedback. You do pair work. So you help each other. Look at each other's work as well. Okay. Okay.
This is another question that I know for you.
Okay. Given the current trend of Cgct, used by students nowadays, what are my thoughts on it? Okay, here's what I think. All right. Maybe our lecturers here also may agree or disagree with me. In every generation, there is always a certain way of learning. There's always a certain learning style. Okay. If I can just use an analogy, perhaps during our childhood days, yeah, myself, Dr. Zainul, or even Dr. Rafida, we will always be, punished, kena pukul ke if we do not study. Yeah, those were during our times, yeah, how our parents treated us. But myself, with my children, if I do that with them, the present generation, we will get a different outcome altogether. Yeah, if we beat up our children, next thing you know, they will, run away from home.
home.
Away from home. Or we could be sent to prison.
Parents will be sent to prison. So what I'm saying is there are different learning styles for different generations. Yeah. So you guys, yeah, all my students here, you are in the digital era. Yeah. All these, Cgct, Turnitin, all these are at your fingertips. Right. I think if you ask me, you can make use of all these tools, but you have to use them wisely. All right. Even when I check my own work, yeah, using Grammarly or using Quiltboard, right? What is being highlighted, yeah, what is being proposed to me, I do not agree 100% with, what is highlighted. Yeah, even spelling errors or sentence structure, I will still look at each and every one of them. Yeah, and then I decide whether I want to take that, as my revised version. So the same thing with ChatGPT. Okay, we had a discussion also, myself and some of our deanery members. Yeah, this is the top management of our kuliah. We were looking even into topics pertaining to Islam. Right? What does ChatGPT explain? What is their explanation about Islam, for example? Yeah, what is their explanation about things pertaining to Islam? They didn't give us the accurate information. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is not everything is correct. Right? ChatGPT can give suggestions. Yeah, ChatGPT can give ideas, but it is still you at the end of the day. Yeah, you have to decide whether you want to use those ideas or not. Yeah, the same thing with the sentences. Yeah, the same thing with the language. Your lecturers spend time with you 14 weeks. They know your level of proficiency, right? How well you write, how much more improvement you need. Yeah, if suddenly you send a superb, excellent work at the end of the semester, then there's something amiss. Okay, we're not saying that you cannot write good work. Yeah, you cannot write good essays. You can, yeah, but there must be step-by-step improvement also. Okay, so Muhammad.
Another one there.
Okay, so okay.
Another one.
We boost our confidence when we rephrase. What do you mean by boost your confidence? I think to boost your confidence, you always have to practice lah. Yeah. Sometimes you may not get it right the first time. Yeah. Try again. Okay. Another way is, I think, this is I think a universal problem among our students. Yeah, whether it's the Malaysians or international students. Sometimes you are too timid, right? You are too afraid to be assertive. You have these ideas, you have a way to paraphrase, but you don't want to say it. You don't want to try it. Yeah, so learn to be assertive. Yeah, to be assertive verbally or to be assertive in a written form. Yeah, try it out anyway, right? See if it works. Show it to your lecturers. Yeah, your lecturers, I'm sure they are always there to help you. Yeah, it's always good to try, make a mistake, and then improve. Yeah, rather than not try at all. Right? Then you're not moving, you're not improving. Yeah, that's how I think you can improve your level of confidence, inshallah. Okay. All right, Aiman, I hope you have addressed your question there.
Right, I think that's the last question for the day, right?
Okay.
I'm sorry, PM Zainan.
Yeah.
Just one last question, because this was asked by my student during my class. Most of the majority of the Malay students, they try to get off the taboo kind of research that are controversial. They would always be on the safe ground. How could we encourage our students to, get into things that are supposed to be discussed openly? How could we encourage them?
I'm assuming that the topics or the titles are actually up to them to choose. Is that it, Dr. Amelia?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, I think this is how it should be done. No, we need to tell our students that any idea is a good idea. All right. We should not have any, you know, what's the word? Yeah, notion that certain topics already belong to a certain point of view. Yeah. Of course, it's how our students support, yeah, and give ideas to that point of view. Yeah. And I think it also is always also good to remind that, you know, our point of view or our students' point of view is always related to us culturally, yeah, to us Muslims, to us Malaysians. Yeah, I think a while ago, some of my students were talking about, you know, this thing about LGBT, yeah, expression of freedom of expression and things like that, right? I think it's an issue that should be discussed, yeah, but it should be discussed in a healthy manner, yeah, not just based on sweeping statements, not just based on what you see on TikTok, right? But it has to have concrete evidences, yeah, based on true, in fairness, we have to have academic discussions on it, right? So I think we also need to train our students, yeah, to be mature in their thinking as well, yeah. This is something that they will soon face when they, you know, they join the industry later on, yeah, when they join as part of the workforce, right? People will be, you know, throwing questions at them, and you must be able to have a stand. Yeah. So I don't know, Dr. Emilia, what are some of the taboo topics that your students were avoiding?
I think one
You
of
can
them
share.
is that there is this one topic, like if a woman has been raped, is she allowed to abort the child if she's pregnant?
Avoid the child.
Abort.
Abort the child. Okay, all right. Okay, if that's the stand of the child, of the woman, what are the reasons? Okay, so the reasons can be maybe from the legal aspect or the Sharia aspect of it. Maybe the reason can be from the medical aspect of it, yeah, or maybe from the economic aspect of it. There are reasons, as long as they are justified. Yeah. The point is we are trying to help our students to be able to justify their stand. Yeah. Of course, topics that are going really off tangent, then we'll have to guide, you know, our students back, you know, to be back on track, of course. Yeah. But it's good. I think we always encourage you know, our students to have this kind of discussion. I come from the Department of English Language and Literature, so that's basically under the human sciences. But because I teach academic writing, sometimes I do have students from Usuluddin, yeah. I do have students from Fiqh and Usul Fiqh, even students from Quran and Sunnah, yeah. You see how they support their ideas using you know, verses from the Quran, yeah, things like that. So lecturers are also learning, all right? So it's always good to have a healthy discussion like that. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Amelia.
Thank you, Dr. Arnold.
Right. Okay. Is there any more question before I wrap this up? I think like so I think that's the last question for today from Dr. Amalia. I think like this is good in a sense, like, you know, without this webinar, there are certain things that we are not aware of, right? Okay. So thank you again to all the 72 students.
Thank you for attending.
Right. Okay. Who attended this webinar. Okay. And then, okay, there's the attendance link given to the student there in the chat box. Okay. Can you please fill that up? Okay, and to Dr. Ainul, okay, so it has been a privilege to have you here with us. Okay, so we appreciate it. Okay,
always
so
a pleasure.
Right, so thank you for coming, and then like hopefully we get to collaborate in the future since you are the best friend of Dr. Rafida over here.
You have no idea.
Just be prepared, Dr. Ainul. We will be inviting you again and again.
Yeah, I hope to visit Kuala Pilah. someday, inshallah, soon.
Right, right. We welcome you. All right. So again, before we end the session, can we please have a photo session? Okay, so we have got 74 participants here. Okay, students, I know I see the names all over. Is it okay if you are to turn on your cameras?
Yeah, you can switch on your cameras.
Turn on your camera.
Come on, guys, turn on your cameras.
Malu.
Otherwise, I will not take your attendance for today. See? How cool
Okay, come
your
on,
website
students.
would be?
No. Okay, probably fit because this is probably online. Probably the
Yeah.
girls are not
Yeah, I know.
wearing the hijab and all that. Probably you can
Yeah.
just snap photos of people who are here.
Okay, hold on. Who is taking the photos?
I suppose you are.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Oh, okay. Some students are.
Okay,
Yes,
student. Yes. Okay, I know you're
Yes,
sharing
I want
devices.
the
Okay,
gang
okay,
is
okay.
there. All right. Okay, good. You stay till the end. All right. Okay, hold on. Hey, hold on.
Okay,
Okay.
turn on your camera. Okay, Dr. Rafida is still not ready. She's still maneuvering the camera. Okay, so some people are turning on their camera probably. Okay, any more people? Right, I think that's it. Okay.
Turn on the camera.
Ah,
Okay, all right.
okay, one.
Okay, hold on.
Yep, more people are
Yep.
turning on the camera.
Ah, baru ramai yang turn on.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, everybody.
thank you guys. Thank
Thank you,
you. Thank you
everyone.
for attending. Right. Thank you, Dr. Ano, once again. So
Thank
we have
you.
come to the end of it. So student, again, please don't forget to do your attendance here. Okay, so look at the link and fill up the particulars for attendance today. Right. Okay.
Thank you
So-
again for the invitation. Yeah, sorry for any shortcomings. Inshallah, we'll meet in the future. So
Inshallah. All right. Okay. So
Thanks
that's
again.
it. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Ainul. Okay.
bye. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bye
Doctor.
everyone. Okay, right. Okay. Assalamualaikum.
Bye, Doctor. Thank you.
Dr. Ainul, you have to come here for tea.